WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have Heaven's Door 10-year-old bourbon from the Decades series, number 1. This is 50% Whiskybase number 2, 18203, $95 in the States. Now, so far, Heaven's Doors has mainly been associated with, at least in my opinion, with Tennessee. So they have a Tennessee bourbon, they have a rye, and they have a double oak. And then they had a 10-year-old, and then they had the 10-year-old collaboration with Redbreast, the Master's Blend Edition. I paid 149 euros for this. 50% 10-year-old whiskey. This is going to be my comparison. This is 59, but there was actually a press release, I think it was November of last year, that said that Heaven's Door bought a distillery called 6 Mile Distillery in Pleasureville, Kentucky. So they're leaving the, so far, every time I went to the website, they used to always say, in Nashville, Tennessee, we're going to build a distillery. So for the past 5 years, basically, that I've been in contact here with Heaven's Doors, it's always been the mission to build a distillery in Nashville. And now the CEO of Heaven's Doors, that's Mark Buchela, basically said, no. He did talk about them actually for the last 5 years laying down new make spirits from all these different distilleries they worked with their own custom mash bill. And that should go 2023 into the first bottlings, which is very, very nice. And now they have the new distillery home there that will be built on the 6 Mile Creek. I'm not being built. They're going to take it over. It's already there. It's been producing whiskey for about 3.5 years already. So, and now on top of that, they called that a little bit of a pivot there. They are going to actually, I think it's going to open up in May, basically when this video is going to be released of 2023, the Last Refuge. So that is actually here in Louisville, Kentucky, basically Nulu district where I was last summer. They have this former church. They're renovating it. They're putting art, of course, from Bob Dylan in there. They'll have also music. They'll have a little bit of whiskey, of course. And it'll be possible to host a private event there. There'll be live performances. It will house a vinyl record store, at least according to the information I have, with a listening room, a restaurant, a bar, and a 10,000 square foot, for us in Germany, 1,000 square meters, art gallery. So that's very, very, very interesting. And they're going to have a whiskey bar with over 1,000 American whiskeys in it. So that's going to be a big, big thing that's going to happen there. So why not? All right, so you're not here to hear about the history of Heaven's Doors. You're here to watch this video about the review here, maybe the comparison. Now, I do have over here, and I just recently, a couple weeks ago, released a 5 single barrel comparison of 3 of the new single barrels. They look like this. 3 of the old single barrels. They look like that. From the importer in Germany called Schlumberger. So if you're very interested in what we get over here, that was 4-year-old whiskey basically from Tennessee, and now we have, at least over here in Germany, 3 7-year-old MGP and cask strength. Excellent whiskey. About 105, 109 euros. That's the product I would buy. If I have $100 burning a hole in my pocket and I want to buy something from Heaven's Door, what would I buy? I would buy one of those single barrels. And to be asked the exact, I'd buy another bottle from the barrel number 214. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, this is more of a gimmick, in my personal opinion. It is interesting, 15 months in 12-year-old redbreast casks, flown back from Ireland over then here to America, and they did that for an extra time. So is it a one-off collaboration, never again? That's the way it looks, but we'll see what happens here. All right, the decades. Is the decades worth the money? $95. Now the nose, it's very, very nice. I do get a nice little caramel moment. I do get here a little bit of a oak, vanilla, baking spice, tiny bit of honey, a little bit of a orange peel. Nice. A little bit of burnt caramel as well. Tiny, tiny little bit of green pine needle moment, but just a tad. Going to this 10-year-old, it's different. It's a little bit more dusty, and there's a little bit more of a, I'm going to say, pot still spice going on in there as well. Would I be able to identify this blind as pot still spice? Never. I'm not that good. I'm just going, oh, I remember what it was like. I remember that association. I remember that. All right, let's go over here. Both of these 10 years of age, both of these 50%. This is $95, at least in US. This is 194 euros. So, nice nose. Tiny little bit of a cherry moment as well. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. That's a good whiskey. I like. Got a tiny little bit of heat, but it's not burning. It's got creaminess. Mm. Good, great mouthfeel. A little bit more of the honey, a little bit more of the oak, a little bit of the caramel. Definitely orange peel, definitely honey. A little bit of fruitiness, as I said. Nice. That is going to be a C++ whiskey in my book. Maybe even a B minus minus. Let's go for a B minus minus C++. Got a good aftertaste. Really, really nice. Well done. Now, first of all, it is straight bourbon whiskey. Oh, the bottle says straight here. The other bottle, let's just, for me here, it does say straight bourbon whiskey, but it does not say, nor does it need to say, what state. Is it Tennessee? So over here, this says actually distilled in Indiana. And on the other bottle here, okay, you want to hear some marketing nonsense? All right, I'm going to read from the website of Heaven's Door Decade Series Release #1 Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Introducing the limited edition Heaven's Doors Decade Series. This 10-year-old bourbon is the first release in a trailblazing new collaboration of premium whiskeys curated out of a true labor of dedication and patience over time. Every drop of this bourbon tells a story about the importance of time, age, and maturation. Heaven's Doors invites you to be part of that story. Heaven's Door is an award-winning collection of handcrafted American whiskeys co-created with iconic musician and artist Bob Dylan. I don't think Bob Dylan even tried this. The perfect blend of art and craft. Each bottle of Heaven's Door showcases Bob Dylan's distinctive welded iron gates that he created in his studio Black Buffalo Ironworks. Serve in a tumbler at or near room temperature on the rocks, neat, or with a splash of distilled water. Yay. I mean, talk about all these buzzwords, and do I know anything new about the whiskey by what they said? Nothing. Nothing was added in the text that was not already stated in the bottle. Bourbon, 50%, 10 years. Everything else was blah, blah. But hey, if you've been here at my channel a little bit, you know I constantly complain about marketing fluff. So, very quickly, let's go over here to the Master's Blend here with the Irish. The Redbreast from Ireland. I think it was last year that I did my video to this. It definitely wasn't last year. It's 2022. Um, it just it combats. There's a fight, and the redbreast pot still does not integrate very well with that straight bourbon at all. There's a fight in my mouth, and everyone loses. No, no, no. So sorry. And thinking I paid 149 euros for this. Ouch. All right. So my first question. Heaven's Door. They now have laid down for the last 5 years. They laid down new make spirit made by other people. Very, very nice. They have now bought a distillery that's been producing. It was actually on the Bourbon Trail for the last 3.5 years, 6 miles, and now they have the Refuge in Nulu and Louisville, Kentucky. And all these things are happening. This brand, is it going to explode? Or is it going to, and that's what I hope not, is it going to implode? Can they really transition from sourced to their new make made by others to one day their own new make made at their own distillery in Pleasureville, Kentucky? And the transition from basically Nashville, Tennessee focused and Tennessee over to a Kentucky brand. What's your opinions on that? I would love to hear that. Please write them down in a comment. Maybe someone from Heaven's Door is going to read this and actually get a good idea. Who knows? Thank you very much for watching, liking, and also subscribing. Thank you for telling others, and hope to see you real soon. Whiskey Jason here. Bye-bye.